If you're an entrepreneur with a handful of email signups, maybe your first product sale or two, and you're thinking, this isn't real proof yet, stop. I'm about to show you why those tiny wins are actually the most valuable proof that you can have, and how to leverage them into serious momentum instead of waiting for someday when I'm successful enough. Speaking of proof, you might be wondering why I'm qualified to teach this. I've generated dozens of email signups from people genuinely interested in my approach, and I've had several product purchases, and I even today just had a $997 service client who is now working with me one-on-one to implement the methodology. But just a few months ago, I had just a handful of email subscribers, a little clap from Aunt Susie on Facebook, and this sinking feeling in my gut that was eating me alive. I kept waiting for some magical moment when I'd have thousands of followers or 5-figure launches before I could call myself successful enough to market that to others. And here's what I've learned in that journey. Those first tiny wins, they're not just practice rounds for when you get real proof. They're actually the most honest and powerful proof you can have. And if you know how to position them correctly, they become rocket fuel for everything that comes next. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework that helped me go from questioning every move to building real momentum with authenticity, and why your small proof is actually your biggest competitive advantage. Now, before we dive into the framework, if you're thinking, I want to turn my early proof into actual revenue, but don't know how, I've created a free 21-day email series called 21 Days to Products That Pay. And it shows you exactly how to create your first profitable product, even with a small audience. Grab it now so you can implement everything we're about to cover and walk along with me. First, let's destroy the myth that you need massive numbers to have real proof. Here's what the internet doesn't tell you about those guru success stories. Most people think that proof looks like this, where you have a massive social media following as your base, and then you get them to funnel into email subscribers, and then you get them to get you 6-figure launches with a product, and then you get 100 testimonials on top of that. But actually the way that proof works, it tends to look more like an inverted pyramid, where at the bottom, the smallest part, you have just a few true fans on your social media or however people know about you. And what you do is you leverage that into people that don't know you personally choosing to give you their email. It's actually the biggest step for proof, because you're showing an ability to create something that people want, that strangers will exchange their time, energy, and effort for. From there, on top of that, those same strangers, they're spending their own money on your solution. And then at the very top of the inverted pyramid, the biggest component of proof is that someone is trusting you enough to solve their real problem. If you really think about it, when I had just 8 email subscribers, every single person who signed up was a stranger saying, yes, I want what you're offering, and please come in my inbox and take up space. That's market validation in pure form. It's real people that are having real problems and believing that you have a real solution. And it comes down to quality versus quantity. 8 email subscribers who signed up because they resonated with your specific message are actually infinitely more valuable than 5,000 random people who entered a generic giveaway or are following you because you're posting some trendy topic. And when a person starts paying you for a product, this product proves that your methodology has real perceived value and something that most entrepreneurs never actually achieve. Now, let me show you the exact framework for turning your early proof into undeniable momentum. I call it the honest authority method. So at level 1, we have validation proof, which is probably what you have. This is proof that your solution works and people want it. So for me, my example is when I had just those 8 email subscribers, each person that joined proved that entrepreneurs really struggle with chasing multiple strategies and getting focused on one thing. My very first $33 ebook sale showed me that someone valued my focus framework enough to invest their own money. And that first customer then gave me a testimonial that further validated my specific approach to business focus and that it resonated with them personally. So the example for you might be that professionals in your industry have given their email address because they're seeking your specific solution. Or it could be that some clients have purchased your guide, or someone invested money with you to help solve their problem. And notice the language that I'm using. I'm not inflating numbers or making false claims. I'm stating honest facts that demonstrate real market validation. So level 2 proof is transformation, and I'm building this right now. This is proof that your solution creates real results. So my approach to getting this proof is when someone bought my first product, I follow it up to see how it helped. I ask specific questions. What clarity did you gain? What action did you take? I documented the feedback, and then I treated that single piece of feedback like it was gold, because honestly, it is. They're validating your product and showing other potential customers that it works. One documented micro transformation is worth far more than 100 theoretical promises. And I wasn't waiting for someone to make millions. I was documenting the process of going from confused to clear, which is exactly what my audience wants. So when you get your first testimonial, honor it, cherish it. It's proof for others as well as for yourself. Read it regularly and keep it close. In case you're curious, my very first piece of proof definitely changed my trajectory as an entrepreneur. I'll throw it up on the screen right now. And thank you, Beck, for being a great customer. Level 3 proof is methodology proof. It's your unique advantage. And this is proof that your specific approach works uniquely well. So my positioning from day one was about narrowing in on one product, helping entrepreneurs stop strategy chasing and find one focus that was profitable and also aligned. And I wasn't claiming to be the only business coach. I wasn't competing on credentials or experience. I was competing on a specific methodology for a specific problem with the unique angle of having alignment throughout the whole process. And this works because people don't need another generic business coach. They need someone who understands their specific struggle. So your early proof demonstrates that you understand the problem intimately. And just to drop it in again, if you want to accelerate the process, you can get a 21-day email series, Products That Pay, and it will walk you through the process step by step. So let's talk about something that most entrepreneurs miss: strategic positioning. Here's where most people sabotage their early proof. They start to compare and have imposter syndrome. So let me show you how to position your proof strategically. Instead of, I only have 8 subscribers, say 8 driven entrepreneurs have joined my focused community of strategy evolution seekers. Instead of, I've only sold 1 product, say my focus framework guide, or whatever your guide is named, has helped my first client stop chasing strategies and find their profitable focus. Instead of, I just started X, Y, or Z, say, I'm working directly with early adopters to refine my methodology and document their transformations. So it's using truth strategically. You're not bending the truth. You're just positioning. You're shining the light from a different angle. You're not hiding behind big numbers you don't have. You're not making claims you can't support, but you are demonstrating that real people find real value in your solution. And this honest positioning actually builds more trust than inflated claims because it feels authentic. And there's a secret to doing this honestly is you build momentum. Each piece of early proof makes the next piece easier to get. The first few subscribers become your first audience for social proof. And the first product customer becomes your first testimonial. And that feedback from the testimonial becomes your first case study. You can make a video out of it. And every success story that you have attracts more people like them. But only if you treat your early proof like the valuable evidence it actually is. I know what you're thinking, but what if people think that my numbers are too small? Here's the reality. The people who judge you for small numbers aren't your ideal clients anyway. Your ideal clients are people struggling with the same problem that you solve. They care about solutions, not the metrics of vanity. And if somebody asks about your results, just be honest. You could say, I'm building this methodology with my first clients. For example, my client, Sarah, got clarity on her one area of focus or the one solution after using my framework, and I'm documenting everything so I can help more entrepreneurs just like her. That honesty is actually more compelling than false claims about hundreds of clients or millions of dollars produced. But what if bigger coaches have better proof? The truth is they have different proof. They might have big numbers, but do they have your specific methodology for your specific audience? Most likely not. And remember, people don't need the coach with the most credentials. They need the coach who understands their specific problem and has a clear method for solving it. So if you're sitting on early proof but struggling to actually use it, here's what I want you to do right now. The first thing is document your current proof, however small it seems. The second is reframe it using the honest authority method from this video. And the third, share it authentically without apology or qualification. And the fourth is watch how it manifests more of the same proof. Your early proof isn't practice for when you get to the real proof. It is real proof. It's market validation in its purest form, and it's exactly what the right people need to trust you with their problems. But here's the thing, even after everything I just shared, you might still have that voice in your head saying, yeah, but who am I to call myself an expert? Who am I to charge money for this? If that voice is louder than your confidence, then I made something specifically for you. It's my most vulnerable video yet, where I break down the exact mental shifts that took me from questioning every move to confidently serving the person in front of me. And quite honestly, it might be the most important video that you watch this year.